Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be reviewing this brush set here. I got this on Amazon Prime for $9.99, so free shipping, and I got it within 2 days. The brand is called Beaky, I think that's how you pronounce it. It comes with 10 brushes, but what really caught my eye is that it also includes a beauty sponge and a brush cleaner. So in this video, I'm going to show you the brushes and sponge, but I'm also going to use them in action so you can see how they apply for yourself. So if you're interested in learning more about this brush set, then just keep watching. Okay, so I already have my eyebrows filled in. That is because this brush set does not come with an eyebrow brush. However, if you are looking for a good cheap one, I actually just use the Sephora brand, and it's always worked out really well for me. I'm going to start off here by using the sponge. So I do have some comparisons here. This is one I picked up at the drugstore for $5, and if I'm being honest, I hate it. It's way too dense, so it's not very good at getting the job done. And then here I have the actual beauty blender. This one I have really good things to say about. It's squishy enough, and it's really great at blending. This one here I would say is very comparable. You can see that they're both very squishy, while this one is just way too dense. These are both damp, so it's obvious that this one is much larger, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. So I'm just taking a pump of foundation. Okay, so it's actually pretty nice. The one thing I'll say is it does have a funny scent to it. The brushes and the sponge both smell like the packaging. So I think I already showed you, but it comes in this package right here, and it smells kind of like plasticky, I would say. Now I'm gonna test it out for under my eyes with some concealer here. Okay, so it is a bit large, so it's kind of difficult to get in to the small crevices, but again, it is doing a nice job of blending everything in. Okay, so overall it did a pretty good job. I think it's great that they included this because price-wise, since the kit comes with over 10 products and it costed $9.99, this sponge is less than $1, and it did a way better job than the $5 drugstore sponge, and it's way more affordable and comparable to the $20 beauty blender. Okay, so it comes with 5 large brushes and 5 smaller brushes. I really like how they include this sheet. So it explains what each brush is meant to do. Of course, you don't have to stick to those rules, they're just suggestions. I always mix up my brushes for different purposes. Okay, so this sheet is actually kind of confusing me. It'll say that one of the brushes is a powder blush brush, but then if you read the description, it says to place concealer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and explain what each of them claim to be, and then I'm gonna use them how I normally would. Okay, so since I haven't set anything using powder and I only tried the blending sponge, I'm gonna go ahead and use these 2 brushes, which they claim are for foundation and concealer, and I'm gonna go ahead and see how that works and try to build up the coverage of my foundation. Okay, so this right here is the flat top buffing foundation brush. I'm gonna go ahead and take a pump of my foundation and add it right onto the brush and see if I can build up the coverage here. Okay, so it's not bad at all. It did a pretty good job of blending everything in, but I still do prefer the sponge over the brush. I'm not gonna go ahead and use the concealer again and see how their brush blends everything in. Okay, so this has a nice pointed shape at the end, which is supposed to help get into the under eye area. Okay, so I actually really like this brush. The way it applies, it kind of makes the concealer look more full coverage, and I feel like it did a better job of hiding those under eye circles. I'm also using it in the crevice of my nose since it is so pointed. Okay, so this one here is the Precision Face Brush, and it says to use for liquid or cream on the forehead and cheeks for contouring, so I feel like this would be perfect. This brush is much more dense, so I'm hoping it does a good job of blending everything in. Okay, so I feel like things are blending, but this is not the easiest brush to work with. It's kind of taking me a while. I'm not going in with their face powder brush. This one is much softer and less dense. So it says online that these are meant to be used with powder, liquid, or cream, and that they're supposed to be good for anything. Personally, when I have a powder brush, I want it to be much larger than this, just because it makes the whole process faster. Okay, so I went ahead and set everything using the brush. Again, it got the job done, but in this case, I do prefer my e.l.f. powder brush. This one I think is $3, and it's just much larger, so I feel like it just makes more sense for a powder brush to be larger if it's meant for your whole face. Okay, so there's one more face brush left, and that is their blush brush. It is more dense, but not too dense where I feel like it wouldn't work. Okay, so that was all 5 of the face brushes. I still need to apply powder, bronzer. So I'm gonna use the original powder brush that I used to set everything, since it only has the setting powder. Like I said before, they do have suggestions of what these are used for, but I think they can have multiple purposes. So I'm gonna use this one to try and contour as well, since it does have a slight angle to it. Okay, so after testing this one out, I would say use it for powder bronzer. Don't even bother trying to set your face with it. It's just way too small, and I would recommend getting that e.l.f. powder brush for setting your whole face. Okay, the first small brush is an eyeshadow brush, and it says to use it to apply eyeshadow base or primer. And what I like to do as a base is just pack on a very nude color. So I'm just gonna take this and pack it on. Okay, so now I can already tell that I really, really like this brush and would definitely recommend it. This one right here is the Angle Flat Top Shadow Brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and try and use this in the crease with a nice brown shade. Okay guys, I really, really like this brush as well. It does a great job of picking up just the right amount of product, and it's soft enough to where it blends the product. Next up is what they call the blooming brush. It says to apply cream and liquid foundation in the harder contours to reach of your face. So that would be like in the crease of your nose, maybe around the eyes. But again, I already used this brush to do that, and it got the job done pretty well. So I'm gonna use this instead to highlight my brow bone. Okay, so this is working really, really nicely. Again, with these smaller brushes, they pick up the perfect amount of product, and it's applying really nicely. There's also the flat top shadow brush, which can probably be used for concealer on like problem areas, or again, maybe as a good eyelid shadow brush. Since it's really soft, I'm going to use it on my eyelids. I would say that brush is okay and got the job done, nothing too special. And then finally, we have this Blooming Brush Detail Powder Brush. So again, I feel like this would be good in the eyes, but it also recommends to use it for something like the side of the nose. So I just have a little bit of brown powder on here. So I'm just gonna do a little bit on the side of my nose. And also, since it's a good contour shade, I can use it in the crease of my lid. And I feel like since it does have a slight angle to it, it is really good for defining the nose and the crease of the lid. Okay, so those are all of the brushes. Like I said, it does not include an eyebrow, liner, or lip brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my makeup using my own products. Okay, so overall, I do think the kit is worth it for $9.99, especially if you're a beginner. The fact that they included a sponge and a brush cleaner is amazing. The sponge is under $1. You will not find that anywhere else, especially with this good of quality. Half of the brushes I would say I really did like. The other half were okay. But again, usually to buy one brush, it costs over $10. So if you're looking for something affordable for every day, this would be worth it. As I mentioned throughout the video, I do feel like they are missing a couple staple brushes. But I would recommend looking into e.l.f. because that's another really good affordable brush brand you can find at Target. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new. Also, don't forget to follow me on Snapchat and Instagram at TheVivaDiva. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you until next time. Bye!